Hey, it's Wendy. Welcome. So in this video, I wanted to share some of the information that I give my own Reiki students on how to approach a Reiki session with others from the perspective of the practitioner. So for me, some of you, as you know, I have a big commitment, not just to doing an initial Reiki class with people, but mentoring them so that they can be solid and comfortable in using Reiki, whether they choose to use it strictly for themselves or whether they want to use it assisting other people through Reiki sessions. So this is some of the things that I share with them about how we approach a Reiki session. So of course there's the basics that I hope that all of you already know, which is that we need to share from a place of fullness and overflow. So it is never a good idea to do a Reiki session on someone else if you are tired, you feel depleted, you are stressed out, and those you can't put that aside. It's just not good practice for you. You're going to burn yourself out, and it's not a good energy because we don't give. We have to care for ourselves, and we have to give to ourselves first and nurture that. And that is what allows us to give out of joy. It allows us to give without agenda. So it's just really always important before we're ever stepping into a session with somebody else that we have cared for ourselves. So Reiki, I love Reiki. Reiki is what I call a more receptive energy for the practitioner. Um, it is, okay, first, it is important that you understand that Reiki energy, universal life energy, source energy, what I say, the highest vibration, that energy of divine love, that energy is the same for all Reiki practitioners. And I really want to honor for you that it is the unique way that that energy flows through you. You are a unique channel. So you, in your relationship with Reiki, and I talk about that a lot, as you uniquely experience Reiki, treat yourself with Reiki, meditate with Reiki and the Reiki symbols, you are developing your own relationship with Reiki. So you are equally important. You bring a uniqueness to the way that you will always share Reiki with others. So I want to start just by honoring that and thanking you for being on the Reiki path. So the very first thing that I mention to people is that it is a receptive state rather than some other healing methods which are active. So it is important that you understand that receptivity is not a state where we check out. It is not a state where we are not active. We are actively holding space as the energy flows through us to the person who's receiving the energy. And we are actively, this is tricky, we are actively witnessing. And let me unpack that a little bit. We are holding space with the energy of divine compassion. And that is a space to allow Reiki to do the work. So we should never in a Reiki session be looking at what we are perceiving in the client's physical, mental, emotional, soul energy bodies. And we're working with all of those in a Reiki session. We will perceive different imbalances or different situations or things, however Reiki flows in with information for you. And it is important to understand that just because we perceive it, we do not need to move into fixing it. Let's direct the energy right there and blast that blockage, right? That is when we have moved into that kind of activity, we have stepped out of Reiki and we have moved into another healing modality. Now, that might be fine, but let's be conscious about it, right? So, Reiki is the modality of Reiki, in my belief, is the piece that's the modality, is that we allow this flow to channel through us and we let Reiki do the work. I've heard from the very first time I took a Reiki class, right? And I know this from years of experience that Reiki is wise. It has its own wisdom and it will always work at the causal level. So what you may be perceiving may not be the causal level. It does no good to blast something on the physical level when the true cause and issue is in the emotional level and it's just going to remanifest. So it's important that we trust the energy, but there is great power in holding a space of divine compassion where we witness what is for the client. That is a gift that the client gives us, the vulnerability of, and we should never underestimate the vulnerability that comes from a client who has opened themselves to receive healing, and we are honored to be the conduit of that. So we need to have great care and reverence and respect for whatever issue, wounding, imbalance, beauty, whatever is unfolding and that we are witnessing in that moment. We need to just bring the energy of Reiki, which is love, to whatever that is and allow it. We create this spacious place where what is truly seen and allowed and valued for what it is. And what I want to say to you is when we do that, that actually creates an opening, because something that may have been held tight and secret and disowned for so long is finally seen and heard and recognized and loved as it is. And that so often can create a spaciousness where once it's been witnessed, it can shift and change into something different for our clients. So it is a sacred opportunity simply to hold loving compassion and witness what is. And you will be amazed, if you've never tried that, at how it shifts and changes. So that is amazingly powerful. Now, let's see, notes. Okay, good. So I thought I missed something, but it's just because I'm in that flow. Okay, so the next thing that I want to say is it's important to recognize the energy of the client and our own energy. Because often what we will do unconsciously, and especially for those of you who are empaths, and so you can feel into somebody else's physical and emotional state very easily and instinctively, really, as an empath. Note, see my video on how to be a grown-up empath. Okay, so we come in, we assess instinctively as a practitioner where our client is. And there is a tendency for our vibration to come to match where they are vibrationally. So this does not create as great an opportunity for change. So if they are very much, say they have a physical issue, and they are very much in that 3D physical experience, and you come in and match them at the 3D physical experience, that is the level on which you are giving Reiki the opportunity to work. And to change 3D from that level takes a lot of time. And it just takes a lot of time. It's more challenging. Now, and you are meeting your client. So what I want to suggest to you start to work with as a practitioner is the opportunity to come up at a higher vibrational rate than where your client is currently sitting. Here's what this does. This creates a beautiful energy that allows the client to step up their energy to meet the space you are holding. And that is going to shift their vibration, the vibration with which they are approaching their situation. And it's going to give them a great opportunity to hold on to the work at that new vibrational level. So uh, if we actually approach way up here at a soul level when the person is at physical, that may be too great a gap for them to step up into. So I teach my students to learn to use their energy within a Reiki session to shift their own vibration during the session just to that next step up from where the client is. And then if the client is able to move there and that becomes a solid match, then to step up the next level. So it creates this beautiful building of energy and working at different levels throughout the session. Now that takes practice and awareness of how, like, you got to know yourself. You got to know your own energy. What does it feel when I'm very grounded and really approaching things from the third dimension, the level of my physical body? Now, no judgment on that. What, quote, higher is not necessarily better, right? Okay, so like fourth and fifth dimension are crappy for manifesting physical results in the physical, right? Because it's not the same. So no are better or worse, but they're used for different things. But it's important to understand our own energy system. When am I really grounded and experiencing from third dimension? What's it like if I move my energy? And when you are moving your energy, you are moving your perception. You are expanding the amount of information that's available to you uh, in your perception by shifting your energy. So when we shift into third and fourth dimension, that's when we are able to see, for example, this physical cause has its root in an unhealed emotional wound or in a belief that's held at the mental level. So when we can learn to simply with a moment of focus move into our higher next step of energy, we create that opportunity for the client. And then if we can move into our soul level of energy, which is the step above the mental and emotional bodies, we can create that shift, right? And that is powerful as well. And it's interesting. I always think of a story that came out of a Reiki share where I was working with a student on this very issue. And she said to me she could really feel the difference in the energy that was moving through her. And I said to her, here's what's interesting about that. That is awesome. And when you are still able to perceive the difference between the energy that is flowing through you and you have not moved into the highest place that is available with Reiki. And it is the place where you simply are that energy. You are simply are divine love. You are divine compassion. You are a match for that beautiful energy of Reiki. And so it's interesting. I find, at least so far as a Reiki teacher, that I can teach people how to come up to the doorway into that, but it is a mystical experience to step over that doorway and simply be the energy. So, but uh, if we can start to become aware of leveling up our energy in this way, it will open the doorway for those divine moments where we simply are divine love as we hold and cradle energetically this beautiful being that we also perceive as a divine being of love, which we are honored to get to assist at this time. So those are just a few of the many things that I would love to share with you about Reiki. I hope that's helpful to you. If you have questions about it, please email me, please comment so that we can enter into discussion with it. And also, really helpful if you would like a meditation that will help you learn to do this, become more familiar with all the levels of your energy, and do this up leveling of your own energy consciously, then if you go to the blog page on my website and you just keep scrolling down, because I put it up a while ago, there is um, a blog, and I'm trying to remember the exact name. It's a meditation that I recorded for you. It's a 30-minute meditation on, I think it's called Crystal Healing for Body, Mind, and Spirit, or Body, Mind, and Soul. So if you find that meditation, when I was first developing this way of working with Reiki, I did that meditation daily for several months, and it really helped me become more adept at understanding where my energy was at any moment and creating this ability, because the meditation takes you through each stage of your energy body. And so it can really be a great tool in helping you start to learn to shift the energy at will, which is a great skill, not just for Reiki, but for living life. So until I see you again, many blessings, and may we all walk in beauty.